So the purpose of this video is to answer the question, where do they pull the data from to create the body charts? It's a question that comes up generally with significantly investigative type people who want to understand behind the scenes and want to know where it comes from. So the body graph, if you don't care about that, if you don't care where it comes from, this video is probably not for you. If you want to understand how did they get to that conclusion, then this is the video for you. So our body graph chart in Human Design starts with the astrological chart. So at the time of birth, the planetary alignment is in a configuration around us, and it's like a clock, and they clock in which position the sun, the earth, the moon, the planets are in at the time of birth. And so a basic astrological chart will look similar to what we've got through the Genetic Matrix website. So this is my natal personality astrological chart, which I understand is a lot of jargon. So natal is simply at the time of birth. Personality is looking at me at the time of birth. And then the astrological is the astrological components of it. And so you can see here, there's a whole pile of information that is compiled, including, if we look at these columns, so from left to right, we've got the gate, we've got the planet or designation, we've got the star sign, we've got the astrological house, and then we've got the where it's sitting in the degrees, minutes, seconds. It clocks that. This is the position that it's clocked in the astrological. So at the time of my birth, the sun was at 15 degrees, 43 minutes and 49 seconds. So, and then I could continue reading down, but it's not relevant. You want to look at your own chart. If you want to download your own chart looking like this, then my recommendation is to do it through Genetic Matrix. You'll find a link to that down below. It is an affiliate link. If you buy through that, I do get a kickback, in full disclosure. So step one, there is an astrological chart cast. So at the moment of our birth, the planets were in alignment around us, and they take a snapshot of that and they identify the degrees, minutes, and seconds of the particular planet or planetary body at that time, which then correlates with an I Ching hexagram, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. So we've got the gate, line, color, tone, and base. Now, for most of what you're looking at the chart, you don't need this level of detail. You can see here at my time of birth, which is where the personality data is derived from, we've got the moon was at 6 degrees, 12 minutes, and that put it in gate 37, line 1, color 3, tone 6, base 3. I'm not going to go into all of what that means in this. I'm just showing you where to find the data. So if you want to run this through Genetic Matrix, you just go into your foundation chart, personality data, and access, and you can find all of this geeky data. Now, how does this start translating into a body graph? So the first thing that we need to do is recognize that the body graph is comprised of two components. One is the personality, which we've just looked at, how that's derived through the astrological elements, and then the other is the design. And the design is taken from approximately 88 days before birth. And again, they pull out where were the planets at that time, what was the alignment, and from that we get the gates. This then creates the bits that we're looking at that we need are these bits. So we're looking at the gates, the planet, and that comes from the degrees and minutes, the location at the moment, at that moment. And so you can see here, this is a compilation of my personality and my design on one chart. So they're all put into on one chart. If we look at the other chart, there's a lot of mess. There's a lot of information on this. It gets overwhelming. So the bits that we're looking at are just these bits that I've highlighted. The lines in the middle aren't relevant for human design. They are relevant for astrology. They're not relevant for human design. the star signs aren't relevant for human design. So there's a lot of information that we can just allow to fall by the wayside. You can see around the circle are the gates, and you can see my planetary alignments. And so if we look at the top, we've got the funny little devil looking dude, which I believe is Mercury. He's at 25 degrees, 40 minutes, which puts him in gate 61.6. So he's right on the edge of that line. You can see, I'll zoom in on this so you can see he's right there on that edge and just about to tick into the 60. So he's 61.6. If we then look just to the right of that, we've got another little black one, which is, I believe that's Venus. My planetary awareness is not particularly great. I'm going to go with Venus. If I'm wrong, I apologize. And you can see that Venus here is this little black line here that is at 10.1. Then we've got the moon in the design side, 25.49, which places it at 11.4. So you can see from those two, 28.28 and 25.49, you can see that those numbers are quite close, but they shift through the gates. So each gate has an arc of 56 minutes and 15 seconds, which is then broken into the 6 lines. And then within that are the colors, tones, and bases. So that's that geeky data that we had before. This data is then transferred onto a mandala and highlighted, and then we start to fill in the body graph. So the body graph elements are taken from the astrology and put onto the body graph. Everybody's body graph has every gate in exactly the same position. So if you're looking at anybody's human design body graph, all of the gates are in the same position. What changes is whether they're colored in or not. From this, we then see where there are channels. So if we come down to my body graph, we can start to see. So all of that information, it's taken those positions, and behind that is the astrological data that contributed to it from the degrees and the minutes that is on the mandala, and the bits that are relevant are on the body graph. So on the body graph, what we get then are all of the gates get filled in, and you can see some of those gates connect. So for example, on my chart, the 3410 gates are connected. Also the 3313 and also the 4253 and the 3254. So there where you can see 2 pieces connecting, and you'll see that those centers are colored in. So where we have 2 gates that connect, we get what's called a channel. Where we have a channel coming out of a center, we get definition in that center, and then that definition contributes to our high level type and our strategy and our authority. So I hope that helps. I know that's a high level view, but for anyone wondering where it all comes from, that's where it comes from. So just to recap, step 1 is to create our astrological chart at the time of birth. Step 2 is to calculate the design date approximately 88 days prior to birth and calculate the astrological chart for that. These 2 charts are then combined. From the astrological data, the planet positions are correlated with a hexagram, which contained within that is the line, the color, the tone, and the base, which is super geeky. And for the most part, all we need to do is focus on the gate and the line. From this, we then fill in the gates on the body graph. The gates that connect form channels. Where their channels are defined, we get colored in centers, and then the defined centers determine our high level type, and the lines in the personality and design sun determine our profile. So that's something that I didn't cover just yet. So let me cover that now. So if we look at up here, we've got the personality sun. It doesn't matter if you look at the sun or the earth, you'll notice that they're the same. So you've got the top 2 lines. The decimal points is what we're looking at. We're looking at the line. So 54 is the gate, 5 is the line, and then 32 is the gate, 2 is the line. And from that, we see that I am a 5-2 heretical hermit. And you'll see on your own chart the lines. I'm going to do another video very shortly on what those lines mean and how to interpret them a little bit more. But for now, I hope that helps you understand where it is that this comes from and how it is that the body graph is created. Like I said, this is a question that comes up. I'm hoping that if it serves, you'll leave me a comment and express your appreciation. If you've noticed something that I've missed or something that you've got another question about that you'd like me to go into, by all means, pop your question down below. I love responding to questions. It is what drives me. I am definitely a responder, and it's far easier for me to answer questions that people are asking than for me to initiate and work out what it is that I am looking for. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to download your own genetic matrix charts, you will find the affiliate link for that in the comments below. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye.